most of the people are not really great in like that, like going back to that idea of like saying no, right? And like getting that appraisal from people, it's really something that we struggle. Like I struggle with it as well, like in terms of like being able to say this is fine. Because like sometimes, you know, like it's like with art as well, it's like following trends and things, and sometimes you might get caught up, even if you don't think about it, in the idea of being popular because of what you did before, right?
Right.
And something happened to me, which is kind of funny, throughout, you know, as COVID went through, and I kind of went solo just before, you know, with like the crypto, and I went and I said like I went fully solo as an artist, which I've never done before, right? Like where I had to like go, okay, it's gonna be just commission, it's gonna be work that I get into and stuff like that. But what I've noticed, it's kind of funny when I look at my social media, is clients that came to my work as clients often came from work that wasn't necessarily the biggest and the most popular one, right? Like I think it helps the variety, and obviously that brings different people, and they, you know, if they like a small image, but they also see the quality of the large one, they might go, oh, he did this, but he could do it at that level, right? But what I've noticed is like for example, like the last 2 years, the 5 largest commissions that I had, and those commissions basically paid for like, you know, like 18 months of bills, essentially, right? Like they were actually sustainable work, came from projects that basically were just like 500 likes.
Right.
And they would literally quote this because they would come to me and say, oh, they want to do this, they have this. And they would show me images from my Instagram that were like, just like flops, not even flops in terms of ideas, but like they didn't get traction, you know what I mean? And it kind of opened my eyes a bit to something that I've noticed. It really took me like last 3 years to kind of slowly get into this place where I'm like, those are good ideas, and if I believe that those are good ideas, I should really try to limit that scope of the noise,
right,
and just follow those ideas, right? Because the clients that I had didn't came from those big ideas that I was thinking are, you know, they did well with like,
right,
general public that was very much on like the trends, but they came from like people that were like, actually we love this and we're working on this. This is, you know, there was a niche that idea fit, right?
Right.
And it was something that in like the last 2 years almost helped me get more okay with following my own ideas versus trying to do stuff just because it's the most popular thing out there. You know?
Yeah. Well, what's interesting about that is I have another note, oddly enough, that says like popularity does not equal value. I said fridge magnets are really popular. They're not very valuable, right? Memes are really popular. There's a lot of memes that are insanely popular, but
yeah,
you know, who cares?
Yeah.
And then you can have a piece that's really only meaningful to like one person. But if that person has, you know, the right, its connections or money or whatever, that's really, really valuable to them, right? Or you could have something that's like, you know, like a good example of this, I guess, is like rattlesnake venom, right? Like you could be developing a piece of medicine that's like, hey, this is a Band-Aid for like everyone. And it's like, oh, cool, that's like 20 cents. If everyone needs it, it shouldn't really be that valuable. And then you can have something that's like only someone that's bitten by a rattlesnake needs that, which is like 2 people a year. But those 2 people a year really need that, right? Like,
yeah.
So it's sort of like that, where it's like, you know, you can, popularity is such a weird, again, it's this idea of focusing on this. We think because it's big picture, because I'm fixing the world, because I'm talking about the environment or something, it's really, really valuable. And the answer is like, scale is a sort of a lie. There's sort of this lie that comes in with, like, a lot of the things I love the most. This is a good example, like why, for an argument for being local. Think of your favorite restaurant. Just in your head, think of the place that you think is the best. I can guarantee you 100% of the time I get this right. It's not a chain. I guarantee you it's a one-of-one privately owned thing.
Yeah.
You would think that being Olive Garden would be the goal, right? But it's not. It ruins it. If Olive Garden was a one restaurant and became this massive chain, all of a sudden you would hate Olive Garden. you know. And so that's how I kind of feel. The same thing with art is like, okay, do I really want to make Olive Garden? And I think one of the things that happens is when you don't ask yourself, what is it I'm trying to make? Why is it I'm making it? What happens is the demand starts guiding what you make. And the problem with demand is it's arbitrary. It's just like floating through the sky. One week it's this, the next week it's that. It's trend after trend after trend, and there's no way of mapping it. And you know, I think the right thing to do, even though it's seemingly more risky, is to choose yourself. What is it I'm trying to do? What is it I'm trying to make? What's the difference I want to leave? And I'm going to ignore the trends of, well, right now it's popular to care about this, this, and that, and it's not popular to care about whatever it is that you care about. But if like you don't want everyone trying to fix the same thing. Like, I don't want everyone trying to fix cancer. Like, I think some people, it's a horrible thing. I wish cancer would get cured, but I want some people focusing on like arthritis. You know, I want some people focusing on heart attacks, right? And then am I going to choose? Am I going to be the one that goes like, no, the only thing that matters is cancer, because that's the biggest one. So all of you caring about whatever, you're wasting your time, right? And it's like like we had that ASL challenge like 3 years ago, right? And it was like everyone cared about that for like 6 months. They did the ice bucket challenge. Then it just disappeared, right? And it's like, who knows what's happening with ASL? Who knows what happened to all that money? Did ASL get cured? I don't know. I think I've seen some post somewhere that said like, hey, we got research because of that, and we did make progress, which is cool. That's really cool. I'm not trying to just be cynical, but what I'm saying is that's how fickle it is, what you should or shouldn't care about. And what you're going to be told is, we have to care about this because this is what everyone cares about. And don't you want to be like everyone? And the answer is like, no, I don't want to be like everyone. And everyone's going to turn, and everyone doesn't even know why they care about it. So I have to choose what I'm going to care about and ignore everything else to the detriment of those things. They don't get my attention, but that's okay. That somebody else, I have to trust someone else will care about that thing.